So, if an instructional designer, educator, or trainer wanted to use game based learning to teach a complex or serious topic, what advice would you give them based on your experience of creating hack attack defense?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it's something that I struggled with a bit. Like the idea of the game had been kind of floating around my head for a couple years, and then taking getting my degree in learning experience design helped, I think, crystallize or I don't know, winnow down those just the ideas there. And as I wanted to just kind of throw the kitchen sink at it, I wanted everybody to experience everything and have just this just transfer everything in my head into this game and to other people. I realized that's not reality, and that honestly the best thing is to focus on one concept and try to get that the most important concept across the board. And then, I mean, if I want to down the road, I can create other games that can maybe focus on other aspects of it. But if you can focus on that, just on one aspect, then you may have to um, cut out some of the fun, or some of the other things that you were hoping to include. But it's going to be less of an enjoyable experience if there's too much going on, if there's even just a little bit extra confusion or whatnot. And so I think just working, and that took a lot of time, to a lot of iterations of taking it to uh, people that I would be targeting the game towards and having them play it. So non-security folks, that have them experience it and see what they get out of it. And so that took time. That's just lots of iterations to go through. But again, just that, keeping it simple, I think, was a big key.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I love being able to test it out with individuals, which is what we do quite a bit in training and curriculum design. We try to make sure that we have a test group, right, that we can test it out with, and make sure that we do focus groups or something like that too. And after that round, we talk with them and say, okay, what was easy, what was hard, what was frustrating for you, and then that way you can find those pain points, and what were the successes too, because there's always room for improvement, but it's nice to know what worked. And then that way okay, this is good, I need to keep this. And yeah, that's great. I love that. How many iterations has the game been through? Like, how many versions have you done since it initially rolled out last year?
I've only had, so we've only had the first print run that we've done. There was iterations leading up to that, but already right now we're looking at kind of redesigning the visual elements to maybe target a slightly different audience. I'm actually creating uh, a follow up of sorts called Hack Attack Offense. So in this one, you're going to be the attacker and learn how you would exploit vulnerable people. So it's just kind of putting you in just looking at security from a different lens. And so I've taken, so that may be just kind of like additional iterations on my previous game, because I'm trying to keep similar mechanics so that it's familiar enough. But I'm trying to figure out, okay, maybe there's a better way to have more engagement in the group or whatnot.
That's really great. I love that. And I think this would be a great game for those that are going into cybersecurity as far as education, if they're, because we, at the college I teach at, Grand Canyon University, we have a cybersecurity program. We have several within there, and they do have a lab for them that they can go in and they can test things out. So, but that would be really fun to, maybe I'll, because I know some people that teach for the program. So I'll be like, hey, you should check this out, and maybe have it with your students, because a lot of the college kids, they love the game-based stuff, right? They resonate with it. So that's really neat. Wow.
Yeah, that's great. So right now I'm also working on creating some facilitator guides so that people can use my game in a school, a library, or in a corporate training, so that they can play the game, but then have a little bit of extra content to help, again, kind of solidify some of the educational principles that are briefly introduced in the game.
Wow, that's great. I love that. And I think that could even work for the AI program that we're introducing too, because, like you had mentioned before, AI is such a big part of everything now, and so even with cybersecurity, it's changed
Oh, for
the game,
sure.
hasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it really has. Wow, that's really cool. I love that. I'll be on the lookout for the other one. That sounds neat, because you
Yeah.
want to kind of see what both sides are like, right?
Right.
Of that, and flip the coin a little bit and see what
Yeah.
that's like. I like that. Love it.